Greetings, math fans. All right, so this is review sheet 1 for chapter 5, and I'm just going to basically go and do a quick video on the keys. Okay, so obviously, if you don't want to watch the whole thing, just scroll to what you want to see. But here's the whole thing. I'm doing it pretty quickly here. Okay, find the degree of each of the following polynomials and write it in standard form. First of all, you got to look for the highest degree. So there's a 3, there's a 2, that's a 1, it's actually 0. The highest degree is x cubed, so the degree is 3. Standard form is highest exponent to lowest exponent, so it's going to be 2x cubed minus 8x squared plus 7x plus 3. Okay, this one degree, you have to look at the exponents, so 3 plus 2 is 5. 2 plus 1 is 3, and this is degree 0. So this is my highest degree, so degree is 5. If I put in standard form, then it would be that term, then this term first, then this term, then this term. Okay. All right. Okay, so we got a lot of factoring here. So this is the main part of the chapter, guys, factoring and actually simplifying, all right, and solving. Okay, so this is a difference of two cubes. You got to recognize that because they're both perfect cubes. Have that little list of all the different cubes on your paper there. That's x and that's 2. That's all you're going to write on top. And then you're going to write this on there because you're going to use SOAP. Same sign, opposite sign, always positive. All right, and then here you're going to put an x and a 2. Here you're going to put this term's first term squared. The last place you're going to put the last term squared, so 2 squared. And then you're going to put the product of the 2, so 2x. So really this is just a 4 here. And that's actually your answer. It can't do any more than that. Okay? Next one, same thing. It's a difference of 2 cubes, so that's t, and that's a 3. 3 cubed is 27. So again, we're going to write this in here. T, let's just do SOAP first. Same sign, opposite sign, always positive. So t and 3, t squared. This is the product of the 2, so 3t, and this is 3 squared, which is 9. Okay? Number 5 is also a difference of 2 cubes. So the cube root of 8 is 2, cube root of t cubed is t, cube root of 27 is 3. So again, we're going to use SOAP. Same sign, opposite sign, always positive. So 2t and 3, and the first spot here is 2t squared, first term squared. So it's 4t squared. Don't forget it's 4, not just 2t squared. So 4t squared, the last spot is 3 squared, which is 9, and the product of the 2 is 6t. Okay? And another one, so this cube root of z, that's 5, and then w. All right, so same sign, opposite sign, always positive. So z and 5w. Z squared, the last term is 25w squared, and the product of the 2 is 5zw. Okay, not bad. This is the difference of 2 squares. So the square root of 100 is 10, square root of 9 is 3, and square root of y squared is y. So this one's easier. It's 10 plus 3y, 10 minus 3y, and that's your answer. Okay, same thing. This is a perfect square, a squared, so that I'm going to write a and b. Square root of 16 is 4. Okay, so you're going to have ab, and it's going to be plus 4, and ab minus 4. That's your answer. Okay, not bad. This one's a little complicated, almost more complicated than I really like. But we can just do it anyway. Basically, it's recognizing it's a difference of 2 squares. The square root of y to the 4th is y squared. The square root of 81 is 9. The square root of x to the 4th is x squared. Okay, so once you know it's a difference of 2 squared, guys, it's easy. Once you take the square root of those guys, it's just a plus and a minus. And so this is going to be y squared, and 9x and 9x. And you're done with the problem. Okay, this next one's a grouping problem. I can tell that because it's got 4 terms. Got to know how to do grouping. So it is, I see there's a common 5 for the first part and a common a for the second part. So I'm going to factor out a 5 out of the first one. So it's x minus y. And then factor out an a. We'll divide each of these by a, and so you're going to get x minus y. And guys, that's important. These need to match up. If these don't match up, you actually did something wrong. So it kind of helps you as you're doing one of them to get the other one also x minus y. Okay? So then your final answer is going to be 5 plus a, that is an a right here, 5 plus a and x minus y. Okay? Not bad. This next one, it's just the greatest common factor. In fact, that is 5. So 5 parentheses 2 minus x. Okay, this one is the greatest common factor, and you have a 24, 12, and a 15. So the biggest number that goes to it is actually 3t, because that's my smallest exponent for that. So I'm going to take out a negative 3t, because it starts out with negative. Okay, so we get 8t squared minus 4t plus 5. Okay, not bad. Now these are simplified. They're not factor. Guys, remember when you do factoring, you're actually putting it into parentheses. This one is simplified, which means you're taking it out of parentheses. You're simplifying it. Okay, so because that's a plus here, you don't do a lot with it. So it's 2 minus 8x minus 2x to the fourth plus 3x plus 2. All right, so I just kept the same sign too with a plus sign. So if I kind of put stuff together, I get negative 2x, putting it in standard form, negative 2x to the fourth. That crosses that one out. Negative 8x plus 3x is minus 5x. That crosses that out, and 2 plus 2 is 4. And you're done with the problem. Now this one, you got a negative. Make sure you change the sign of all three terms. So it's 5x squared minus 3x plus 5, and then it's minus 4x squared plus 3x plus 1. Okay? And then you combine like terms. 5x squared minus 4x squared is x squared. Negative 3x plus 3x, that just cancels. So that's done. And 5 plus 1 is 6. And there's nothing else I can do with that. All right, the next one's a little more complicated because you have some subtraction, you have some distributing. So basically that times those two, it's 2x squared plus 24. And then negative 5x minus x squared, or negative 5 minus x squared is negative 5x squared. And negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. And then positive 6x squared and positive 30. Okay, so we combine like terms. So 2x squared minus 5x squared is negative, plus 6x squared. So 2x squared minus 5x squared is negative 3x squared, plus 6x squared is 3x squared. Okay, and then negative 24 minus 25 is negative 1, plus 30 is negative 29, or positive 29. So there's my final answer for that problem. Okay, this one, there's no distributing here, guys. It's multiplying because there's no adding and subtracting. It's a negative sign. So it's basically saying negative 2 times negative 8 is positive 16. A2, or a squared times a to the first is a cubed. And that's your answer, 16a cubed. Okay, kind of work our way down here a little bit more. Okay, so number 18, guys, you need to remember to write this twice. Because again, this is, you're going to do FOIL here, so you got to write it twice. 2y plus 5, 2y plus 5, and then you got to FOIL it out. Okay, so let's do that. First gives us 4y squared. Outer gives us plus 10y. Inner gives us plus 10y. And last gives us plus 25. So you combine like terms together, which are just the middle terms. So you get 4y squared minus 20y plus 25. Okay, this one's a little bit more work. That x has to be multiplied by all those terms and the 5 by all of those terms. So x times 2x squared is 2x cubed. X times 3x is plus 3x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. 5 times 2x is 10x squared. 5 times 3 is plus 15x. And 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. Okay, then you combine like terms. Nothing to combine with the 2x cubed. 3x squared plus 10x squared is 13x squared. Negative 4x plus 15x is positive 11x, and then minus 20. Okay, not bad. I mean, it's, it's a little bit of work, but just got to deal with it. Okay, and the last one's FOIL. It's really easy. 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times 5 is plus 15x. Negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. And negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. So we get 6x squared minus 8x plus, or, sorry, 6x squared plus 7x minus 20. And that's your answer. All right, so now they're saying solve each equation, which means I just need to set, like this one's already factored for me, so I'm just going to say 3x equals 0 and x minus 5 equals 0. Divide everything by 3, so x equals 0, and add 5 to both sides, x equals 5. So those are my two answers, 5 and 0. Okay, next one. First thing we're going to do is we're going to factor out the greatest common factor. So I'm going to divide everything by x. So x times x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 0. So if I do a factor box for that guy, I get x squared, negative 10, and negative 3x. So x and x, and this turns out to be negative 5 and positive 2. Negative 5x plus 2x gives us negative 3x, which is a good check, right? And so it's x minus 5, x plus 2. And don't forget the x that you factored out originally. Okay? So once you have that, you said each of those equals 0. X equals 0, x minus 5 equals 0, and x plus 2 equals 0. So subtract 2, x equals negative 2, and add 5, so x equals 5. 5, negative 2, and 0. Okay? Cool. 23, got to move that 54 over. So I get x squared minus 3x minus 54 equals 0. So actually let's do a factor box. X squared, negative 54, negative 3x. So x and x, it's going to be 9 and 6. So 9 and 6, since this is negative, that one's going to be negative. So it's x, or negative 9x, plus 6x, which gives us negative 3x. Perfect. So x minus 9, x plus 6. X minus 9, x plus 6 equals 0. And so I set each of those equal to 0. So x minus 9 equals 0. X minus 9 equals 0. So add 9, x equals 9. Subtract 6, x equals negative 6. So you have negative 6 and 9. Okay? And the last one is, again, greatest common factor. So we're going to factor out a 4x. So I divide each of these by 4x, and I get x minus 4 equals 0. So now it's factored, and I said each of those equals 0. 4x equals 0. X minus 4 equals 0. Subtract 4, x equals negative 4, and divide by 4, x equals 0. So you have 0 and negative 4. Should have been adding 4 here, I'm sorry. Okay, so x equals positive 4. Sorry. Okay, that's it, math fans. That is review sheet number 1 in about 15 minutes. So hopefully you guys are good to go with this. All right, adios. Goodbye.